Alright, let's get into the next round, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Going with the old upkeep. We're all loving the upkeep with some afflictions. No, we don't have any of those. No torches. At this point, really all we do is we are going to set our initiative tokens. We're going to go 1, 3, 5, and 2, 4, 6. With 1, 3, 5 for the Paladin, 2, 4, 6 for our Battle Mage, and then we're going to draw an encounter card. Let's see what encounter card we get. Alright. Uh-oh. A very sneaky goblin named Butchie snuck up on heroes and attempted to steal their gold. Each hero must test willpower to detect their gold is about to be taken. Oh wow. Wow. So it goes by initiative token. On a fail, 1d20 times 100 for the amount of gold Butchie has stolen. Wow. These are all so like yeah. Alright. Well, I mean, it is what it is, right? So let's roll for it. Let's see if we can keep Butchie from taking our gold. So it's 1d20. It is a willpower roll for each hero. So willpower plus 5 for our Paladin. That's pretty good. So willpower would be to 17, so 12 or better to stop it for the Paladin. No, that's a fail. And 15 or better for... Yeah. So they both fail. So the Paladin is going to lose 500 gold. And Battle Mage is going to lose 1,600 gold. Wow. So, Paladin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he loses all that he has to do what he has on him. She loses all that she has on her. And just like that, the gold is gone. Wow. That is horrendous. All those gains gone in an instant. Okay, well, let's go back to the board. Actually, we'll just do it right here. So we have our Guardian roll. Currently, our Guardian spawn is set to 13. So if we get a 13 or better, we spawn in our second Guardian. At 12, we managed to not spawn in a Guardian. Wow. Okay. That is that. So let's go to the main board and start our hero turns. Alright, so first thing I think we're going to do is Albus is going to go because remember he has that 1,000 gold on him and we really need to purchase, if we're not purchasing items anyway, we need to purchase some healing potions, some ochre juice, to try to get some essence for healing and some other things because remember our heroes are so close to the Guardian, at least the one Guardian that's out there. I think we're going to try to engage him and get him taken out. So let's roll for his movement. 5 plus 6 is plenty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the village. So let's go to the village board and see what Albus can do. Alright, here we are back in town. So I've done a little work already. So looking at what all's in town, remember we have access to T1 items or T2 items, depending on our level. Our Paladin has access to T2 items and T1 and T2 items, and the Battle Mage T1. So looking at what we had, I've set there to the left over here, you'll see what Alice is going to carry back. So I've got 2 healing potions. The healing potions are going to obviously give us health. And then I've got 2 Ultra Juice, which is going to restore the essence, so that the Paladin can use his healing hands, or the Battle Mage, if she wants to take the Life Force, take Spectral Sword or some other something, she can do that. We'll note that Albus can only carry 3 items and 4 potions, so he's limited in what he can carry. But that is going to spend all the 1,000 gold he had on him, because that bow is 600. It is plus 2 damage, and it's got plus 2 to range and plus 3 to range and plus 3 to spiritual. I chose that because spiritual and ranged are both what Magmus has. So the Guardian we're going up against has that. So hopefully Albus can get in and get that, probably to the Paladin, even though it's a T1 item. Get that to him, get him some healing potions, and get our Battle Mage some healing as well. And, hopefully, they have +1 and +2 with the Arcane, so hopefully that will help. And the Battle Mage, we'll see what she does. I'm thinking, actually, just to look ahead, I was considering Spectral Sword. But, yeah, she's probably going to take Spectral Sword, which is going to cost her 3 Life Force, which we have 5, so she's probably going to get Spectral Sword, and, because it's got pretty good chance of damage, so she get a couple shots off, and that's just straight up damage against the Guardian. And as close as he is, I think we're going to go ahead and engage him so that we can get him out of the way before the next one shows up. And we got a good chance of getting a little gold for that and some treasures, so hopefully that will work out for us. So that is what we're going to do. Those items are going to go to Albus, and Albus is going to, with his, remember this is his, he's only used one of his 2 actions. The second action is going to run back in and bring this as close as he can to the heroes. Alright, here we go. We're back in the dungeon. We've got our entrance right here. This is where Albus is going to start when he comes in. So we're going to roll a d6, add 6 to this. So it's 4, so that's 10. So can he make it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's so close. He can almost make it to Paladin. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's nowhere near close that way. So he's going to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, he could interrupt his movement if he had more than that, but he doesn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and give 1 of each Ultra Juice and Potion to the Battle Mage. And he'll just have to, you know what, I guess while we're here, he's just going to go ahead and give her the bow. Because it's not going to hurt for her to have it if the Paladin can't have it. They can swap it out, because that's a free action. Oh, look, they can't be engaged. We may have to burn a turn. We may have to burn a turn. All right, it's going to save us a step. It's going to save us a movement point. So we're going to go ahead and actually give this to her as well. Yeah. So we're going to give that to her, and then we will start with the Paladin. Alrighty, so here we are, a little bit closer there with the Paladin. So he's got his 2 actions. His first action is going to be a move action. A 4, that's a 6. So he's going to go 1. Since he's there now for a free action, he can trade. He can trade with a hero, and that doesn't interrupt his move or anything. So we're going to switch the bow over to him. So that's 1, and then we're going to go 2. Now at this point, immediately, this tracking starts to happen. Okay, so immediately, Magnus is now focused in, honed in on our Paladin. So what's going to happen is he is actually going to basically target him. Alright, so the way that that's going to work is we're going to take this tracking token, we're going to put that on our Paladin, on Carrick's sheet. We're also going to put that on Magnus's sheet. So right now that means Magnus is tracking Carrick. So that was 2 of the 6, 3, 4, 5, and he is going to attack him. Alright, cool. That was his first action. So let's go to the battle section, and actually we're gonna attack him twice. And this is going to be using the evolved combat. So let's, hopefully with this bow we can do some real damage. Alright, so here we are at the moment of truth. So we have our bow here. Remember, Carrick has a +4 in spiritual and +0 in ranged, and +1 in arcane for the 3 stats we've got here. So remember, when we're doing this combat, so each action, we are going to have to pick randomly one of the warfare types. We will roll the attack die for that warfare type, and we'll also roll the final strike die. Now, the thing with these guys, with these guardians, is that, remember, they're much tougher. So we've got a 13 spiritual, and it's a /2. So if we fail, we're going to take 2 damage. Range is a 14/2, and arcane is a 12/1. So hopefully we can do okay with that. But let's roll and see firstly. Alright, so it's going to be ranged. And this is each action, right? So he's going to take range. So we've got +3 with range. His sheet, he doesn't have any bonus to that. So we need to get a 14. So we need to get 11 or higher with our attack dice. And then we need to get 11 or higher on the d20 for the final strike. Now if he fails, whichever one of these he fails, he's going to take 2 damage. Okay, so he failed the warfare roll. So that's an 8. So he's going to take 2 damage. So he's going to go from 10 to 8. Final strike die is a 19. That is definitely a hit. So Magnus is going to take 2 damage from that attack. Okay? Then we're going to do it again with our second action while we're standing there. But remember, because this is Guardian combat, much like the minions, not the chamber combat, like the minions, it's a random warfare roll with the evolved combat system each time. So we're going to roll again. We could potentially get the same. We could get ranged again. We could get spiritual. We could get arcane. It's totally random. And we got spiritual. That's awesome. Why is that awesome? Well, we get +3 because of this bow. But remember, he also gets +4 because of his class. So he gets +7 to this roll. We need a 13, so that means a 6 or higher is going to hit Magnus. Wow. Okay, that was ridiculous. It was almost bad. So we've got 4 and 3 is 7. That is a total of 7 plus 3 is 10 plus 4 is 14. So that's one more than we needed. This bow does 2 damage. So that is going to be 4 damage on him of the 8. Final strike die is a 10 plus total of 7. That's 17. Again, more than enough to hit him. That's 2 more damage. Bam. Now, I know it seems like, oh my gosh, you just did 6 damage in one turn. Well, let's remember, he's now level 2, so he is actually one level above Magnus as far as, level-wise. And this bow is a really nice bow, right? It is a very, very nice bow. And so, just fortunately for us, that's how it works out. Remember, we still have to kill 2 more of these. And if he had failed, when he failed those rolls, that was 2 damage apiece. So if he had failed, just 2 or 3 times, that's almost half his life at level 2. At level 1, it would have been far more detrimental. So this was a good run for him. So that takes care of him. Now let's go to our Battle Mage. Alright, so Initiative Token 2 is our Battle Mage. So what she's going to do is, as a free action, she's going to go ahead and use this Ultra Juice. Just regain 6 essence. She has 2 essence currently, so it's going to take her to 8. So now she's got something to work with. The other thing that we're going to do is, I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to use Enlightenment. Remember, Enlightenment is how they can basically spend their whole action, their whole turn. Both their actions is this will end the turn. They get a new special ability, but that's the only thing that they can do, right? So basically, she spends that whole turn to gain that ability. So we're going to go ahead and learn Spectral Sword. She had 5 life force. We spent 3. Now she knows Spectral Sword. So what is this? So this is a channeled ability, level 1, costs 2 essence to cast. It has to be activated on her turn. Anything within 4 spaces, she can target it, roll a d6, and then it's going to take, depending on what we roll, hopefully A damage. If we roll a 6, 2 damage. If we roll a 1 or a 2, it's a miss. So, she could activate it and it miss. That certainly could happen, but yeah, I think that's what we're going to go with her. So, but remember, that is her entire turn. Alright, so that takes care of her turn. So now let's go back and do some battle because, yep, that's right. Carrick is going after Magnus again. Okay, so I actually screwed this up. I messed up. So, Carrick, so on your turn, you have 2 actions, but you can actually only attack once per turn unless you have something that lets you attack twice per turn. So remember, the first time he attacked, he missed. And then the second time he attacked, he got both hits in. So what I'm going to say is those other times he attacked were basically this turn. Okay? And so that's how we're going to play that. So Magnus actually only has 4, which I guess makes sense because it's basically a way that way you can't spam with, like, this bow, as awesome as it is. You can't spam in one turn one-shot something with a bunch of lucky rolls. It gives them a chance to fight back in between. So his first activation, he attacked and missed. The second activation, he hit, and that is going to be his second activation. So we're going to say that was his second activation. So sorry about that. That's what we're going to do with that, and then we're going to go back to the Battle Mage, and she is going to go. Okay, so here we are with the Battle Mage. Remember, we just bought the Spectral Sword spell. So she's going to actually, first thing on her turn, she's going to do, and this would be the fourth activation of our 6. She is going to go ahead and spend the 2 essence. She's going to channel this card, so we turn it over like this, right? So it can't be used again this turn, or this round. And it's going to cost her 2 essence, so she's got 8. She's going to go down to 6. And we're going to roll a d6. And we're going to see... Well, she's got to move first. I guess I should do that. The first thing she's going to do is she's going to move. So we got to roll a d4. It's a 3 plus 2 is 5. So she's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. So she's actually going to have to use her second action. And remember, using an ability, using one of her abilities is not an action because you're paying that essence cost. So that makes it a little bit easier. They just have to spend the essence. So with her second action on her turn, she's going to move again. Doesn't really matter, of course, she gets that huge number. So she's got a 6, so she's going to go 1, 2, 3. Now, she is also the same class as Carrick. So because she is the same class as Carrick, Magnus does not target her. If for example, Carrick had been a C2 and she had been a C1, because of the order of Magnus's card, he would have switched up and started targeting her instead because she is a higher threat. But since they're both the same class rating, then he doesn't switch. But she is, before she does the combat, she's going to spend her 2 essence and she is going to roll this d6. And let's see what we get. Oh, look at that. You saw it. 6. That's 2 damage. So that means Magnus now has 6 damage on him. That is awesome, because it says target a monster. So that could be a minion, that could be a guardian. So this is gone, this is channeled. Alright, that is channeled. A little boop there. So now she's going to do her regular attack against him and hopefully get a hit on him. Alright, so here we are. Let's see what she can do. And I would also note something that I failed to note. I believe as far as what you can carry, you have items that you can carry. You can carry anything, whether you can use it or not, and it's like equipped is a different question. But you can carry 2 weapons. So having said that, I do also, though, want to mention that you can't have 2 of the same weapon. So there's nothing on the cards that tell you what weapons. The example in the rule book says, like, you can't have 2 swords. But on BGG and in discussions with Roger in various threads, basically what he said, and what I understand, is that you have to look at this symbol, right? So this is a chaos-based weapon, so you couldn't have another one that was just this symbol. Now, let's say, for example, we'll take, let's imagine that this, I know this isn't his stuff, but let's just imagine that these were 2 pieces of loot. This has a +2 to the ranged, but this has ranged and spiritual. So actually, let's say that both of these were weapons. These could both be equipped because this one has the spiritual. It doesn't, as I understand it, it doesn't discount, for example, these don't cancel each other out because they have range. They both have range, but because this has that other icon, it's legit. So just think of it as like an extra bonus. But I couldn't have, let's say that these both only had range. If these were weapons, I could only equip one of those. That's the easiest way to tell with this. I cannot find. I looked, and I could not find anything that tells us how the inventory works as far as how many items they can carry that are not equipable. So I guess they're running around with bags of holding, and they just put their stuff in the ether and then draw it out. To me, it seems like they could only hold what they could equip. But, I mean, they did have backpacks, so I don't know. If anybody knows the answer to that, leave it in the comments below. But, at any rate, so let's get back to our attack. So, currently, Magnus has 6 damage. Remember, we had a total of 4 from our Paladin, and then the 6 roll for the Summon Spectral Sword. She just put 2 on him, so she's going to attack now. Now, if she can use that unbalanced axe. If she can hit him with both of these hits, that will actually kill him. But we'll see. What has she got? Spiritual, she has a -3. Range, she has a 0. And Arcane, she has a +2. So, not a great chance of hitting him. Probably a better chance of taking damage, but I figure, hey, it's worth risk it for the biscuit, right? So let's start by finding out what he's going to use. And it is Arcane. Okay, so fortunately for us, Arcane is a 12, so it's the lower of the 2. And that is what she at least has a little bit of a advantage in. She's got a +2 in that, so a 10 or better is going to hit him. Now remember, we have this effect, this environment effect in the dungeon that says if we fail the Arcane Warfare type attack, it's an additional damage. So if she fails this, she is actually going to take an additional damage, right, from failing that. She could take, actually, it's just from the Warfare roll. So, which is important, right, because the Final Strike die does not count as a Warfare roll. So something like this, it says all failed Arcane Warfare rolls. That means that Final Strike die, if she failed it, is not going to be penalized. She's not going to take that extra damage. And she's going to take the damage for failing the Final Strike, but it's just the regular damage and not the additional damage. Okay? So, here we go. Looking for a 10. Come on. She can get a 10 on both of these. She will have slayed Magnus. Wow. Okay. Well, a 1 and a 5 is not 10. So she missed that, which means she's going to take 2 damage. So she's going to go from 9 to 7. That's unfortunate. But she did hit with a Final Strike die. So he is going to take at least 1 more damage. I have to upgrade his damage here to 7 total. Okay. So, alright. Wish that would have gone a little bit better, but hey, this back on the board so we remember it. At least he took damage, right? Alright, so let's go with our final activation with our Paladin, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, we're really not going anywhere. We're just going to stay right here because, I mean, this is the 5th activation. We know what he's doing on his first shot. His first action, or on his activation, there's the 2 actions. So the first one he's going to use is going to be to attack. He can hit with either one of these, then we're going to be doing good. So let's see what we're going to do. We've done this enough times now. We don't have to spend a lot of time on it. He's using ranged, so he's got a +3 to this. We need a 14, so an 11 or better. This is going to be what we're looking for. Wow, really? Alright, a 5 and a 6. So a 6 on the Warfare is a fail. That is going to be 2 damage for failing. So he's got 8. He's going to go down to 6. And he failed the Final Strike. Means he's going to go down to 4. Oh my lord. That was horrible. But I mean, that is what it is. Man, I was kind of gambling on that. Okay. Well, with his next action, he can't actually do attacking, so let's have him run down to Albus and grab those healing potions. Or actually, yeah, let's have him grab those healing potions. Alright, so he's going to grab the healing. He's going to just, his second action is he's going to move. He's going to run away from the Guardian towards Albus. So this is his second action. Now, he is currently being targeted, right? So even though he's running away, he's not being untargeted by Magnus because he's not evading. He's not so far away that Magnus can't see him or get to him. So the target is not going to change. So Magnus is still going to attempt to attack him. Wow. With a 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's limping away. And, not good. Dang, not good at all. Okay, that is his activation. Battle Mage is up. We better hope she can do it. She's gonna attack him with her first action. Alright, here we go. This is Irina, the Battle Mage. She is using her final activation, so this is token number 6. She's gonna attack him. Let's see what happens. And it is spirit. Of course it's spiritual. That's her worst stat. She has a -3 in this. She needs a 13. 13 to hit him. And if she fails, she's taking 2 damage. So she could potentially take... Well, she's had a health potion, so... Okay. But she needs a 13. So she actually needs a 16 to hit. Oh, man. 7 and 3 is a 10, so that's a miss. She takes 2. She was at 7 health. 6. She goes down to 5 health. And then she missed the final strike as well. So she goes down to 3 health. She is going to use her potion, because remember that doesn't take an action. She just uses it on her turn. To add 6, so she's going to go back up to 9, but that potion is gone. So, that is... Gosh, that is super unfortunate. I was really hoping we could take him out this round, because this way, that was our last activation, so he is actually going to get to go. So let's go to the monsters and start processing them. Alright, so here we are with our monsters. And, I know that's kind of crooked, but it's not crooked anyway. We're got our monsters going, so the first thing we got to do, remember, is we check, do we have 5 in the dungeon? We do currently have 5 in the dungeon. Then we have to check for raiding. Are they going to raid? So we're going to take our D10, and we're going to go through and start with a Skeletal Grunt. Not going to turn to raid. Siegebreaker. Not going to turn to raid. Footman. Not going to turn to raid. Green Siegebreaker. Not going to turn to raid. And the Wraith. Not going to turn to raid. So they're not going to be turning into raid. So now let's go do movement. Now in the monster phase, we do minions first. Then we do the Guardian. So we will start with the minions first, and then we'll go to the Guardian. So let's go to the board, and let's start with our Skeletal Grunt. Alrighty, so Skeletal Grunt is right here, and he has a D6 plus 2, following currently along the blue path. So that's a 6 move, so he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next, we have the red Orb Siege Breaker, who is actually right here. And he is a D6 plus 2 as well. So, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, that is a route patrol skull pile. Alright, so now we got to make a decision. So he went 1, 2, 3, 4 out of his 8. So he's got 4 more left. And what direction is he going to head next? He's going to head in blue, so back the way he came. 1, 2, 3, 4. That takes care of him. The Goblin Footman is next, so let's go to the north a little bit. Alright, here we are in the north. He is currently following the purple path. We're going to go ahead and roll the patrol route because he is pretty close over here to a decision point. So this is a D6 plus 3. That's a 5, and he's going to choose the same color he's on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he's actually going to head back the way he came with a 5. It takes care of the footman. Now let's go to the green Orc Siege Breaker, which is back down south. Alright, so we're back down south. Here's the Siege Breaker. Again, he's probably going to hit that skull pile, so we're going to go ahead and roll. He has got a D6 plus 2. That is 4, and he's going to choose green. So 1, 2, 3. And he chose green, so that's actually going back this way. So he's going to go 4th one right there. I'm getting pretty lucky because they are staying out there in the corner. Next, the big Mama Jama. We're going for Magnus, who's going to attack. He's going to activate, and he's actually going to move to the Paladin and attack him. Okay, guys. So I got to thinking, it seems like the Guardian should be bigger and badder. So I kind of felt like I might have screwed something up. Remember, I'm using this evolved combat system. It's out there in the Facebook group. I got some information. It has apparently been fleshed out, but nothing has been released for it officially, even though it's been written up. Roger has not put it out there for us to use. Guess he's waiting to put it in some, the book or whatever later. But, we're doing playthroughs with it. He's doing playthroughs with it. Anyway, so I screwed up because minions are that single warfare type. Champions and Guardians fight is the same as like a normal attack round. Okay? But Guardians and Champions, remember Champions in the chambers, so if we go and fought one, for example, whatever, if this was a monster when we fought it, we'd go in there and we'd fight through all 3 of the warfare types and then start over, unless we, evaded out of the chamber. Guardians are the same way. So realistically, I should have actually done like I started with our Paladin and actually gone through all 3 of the warfare types and attempted to attack him. Now, the difference between the Guardians and, say, a Champion is that we only do 1 round of combat. We don't do multiple rounds. Of course, they hit back much harder. So, I'm not going to go back and try to, fix all of that. We'll just have to remember that going forward. And this is actually going to kind of work out a negative penalty against me because he's going to get a full round of combat. Now, the plus side for me is I'm going to be using the bow, so hopefully I can kill him. I mean, all it takes is 1 more hit. But that's going to be what we need to do. I just realized, however, that what we did not move is we did not move our Wraith. So first let's move our Wraith minion, and then we will go to the battle location and see if our Paladin, Carrick Roan, can slay Magnus and complete 1 kill of a Guardian of the 3 that we need. Okie dokie. So here we are with our Wraith. He's right here. He's got a D6 plus 3. He's moving on the blue currently, so Total of 6 movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now he's got to make a decision. Going pink. 5, 6. Let's get this recentered. Alright, cool. Now, we also have to remember, though, that he has a special ability, right? He's got this Shadow Step. At the end of the raid's turn, it rolls a d20. On a result of 16 to 20, it takes an additional turn. This ability can only activate once per turn. Now, again, in the spirit of the way that's written, I think it just gives him one extra action, basically one extra move. I don't think that the intent is for him to be able to just keep moving. Although the way it is written, it says once per turn. At the end of the raid's turn, it rolls d20. It takes an additional turn. So the way it's written, actually, that's what I'm going to go with. And I guess it makes sense because the Wraith could pass through stuff and be really quick. So 16 to 20. Oops. Roll it over here where you guys can see it. It's a 12, so he does not take an additional turn. Actually kind of makes him really nasty if he could just keep doing that. So I like that better, actually. So the Wraith's done. So now we're going to move Magnus. Magnus is going to activate. He's going to move adjacent to our Paladin, and he is going to attack our Paladin. So we're just going to go straight to the battle board. Going to move him on the main board. You won't see that. Let's go to the battle area and let's see what we can get into. Alrighty, so here we go. Now again, remember, let's lay these out so we don't screw this up. Remember, he has spiritual, ranged, and arcane warfare types. Again, we're using the Paladin. So there's ranged. So there's the 3 warfare types that he has. Okay. We're going to roll this d3. So we're going to start with spiritual. So that's what he's attacking with first. That is a 13. Remember, we have a +3 and a +4. That's 7. So that's the best one we could have rolled. So we need, and this is just a warfare roll. This is no final strike die because this is not a minion. We have a +7. We need a 13. So a 6 or better will hit him for 2 damage. Oh. And we miss. He takes, our Paladin takes 2 damage. So he goes from 4 to 2. Do it again. So we can't take spiritual. So we're going to take arcane. It's a 12. He's got a +1 to that, so we need an 11 or better. If we miss this, it's out of the focus. All right, 10 and 3. That's 13. Okay. Whew. That is a 13. We just barely killed him. So, that is 1 out of the 3 guardians that we need to kill. But we do get to do our loot roll. Now, fortunately, you can see it's a pretty good loot roll, right? Not only do we get, first thing we do is we get 6 life force. So that's going to help us greatly to level up and buy skills. And level up Albus as well, because he can be leveled up. But this loot roll, if we roll a 7 or better, we get 300 gold twice. So we get 600 gold. If we roll a 15 or better, we get, no. Hold on, let me look at it. I can't remember if we roll it once, we get double the treasure, or we get 2 chances at a loot roll. I think we actually maybe get 2 chances at loot roll. Let me double check. Okay, yeah, as I suspected, I was right the second time. So this times 2 means we make this roll twice. So we're going to roll once, and we're going to check. If we get a 7 or higher, we get 300 gold. And if we get a 15 or higher, we get a loot. and then we'll roll again and do the same thing. So first roll, wow, a 2 is not going to do it for either one of those. Second roll, really? A 2 is not going to do it. That is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, well, he is at least slain, so we're going to set him off to the side over here. So we know he's gone. That's one of the 3. GG, Bo. We love you. And we don't finish out that attack. So he's completely done with his attack.